Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Harry and Jen Do Horror with Friends. On this podcast, we pick current-ish horror films to analyze, critique, and discuss with a buddy who knows a little something about the subject of the film. This month, Jen and I sit down with public ed teacher Francesca Considine-Drake to discuss Zach Creggar's Weapons. We discuss urban legends and folklore, ring cameras, the trials and tribulations of public educators, gun violence, and hot dog couple goals. You should know that on this podcast, we completely spoil our movies, so if you have not seen Weapons yet, be sure to check that out first and come back to us. If you have a minute, we always welcome ratings and reviews on your podcast streaming service of choice. We would love your help growing the show any way you like if you have the time, especially by sharing these episodes with your horror enthusiast pals. Next month, we are talking about Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. Noted as one of the biggest horror films of the year, Sinners is set in the 1930s Mississippi, where twin brothers attempt to make a buck by running a juke joint. Little do they know, vampires plan to crash the party. All of that is to come. But for now, let's sit down with Francesca and talk about Weapons.
I puzzled a little bit over why this formation, why do this, And I was like, well, are they making themselves a weapon? Are they making a point on themselves, like a sword or something,
Are they little airplanes?
Are they little airplanes? Are they little airplanes? Oh, 2:17 a.m. A bunch of kids become little airplanes. No, that's the cold open. I am a singer-songwriter and an English teacher and a dad and an amateur podcaster, apparently. And so I am currently, it's the end of the summer at time of recording, which will be very soon, close to the time of releasing. Okay, I'm already having stuff to edit. Great.
No, I think that should be left in.
And my family is in the thick of a wild obsession with a little film called K-pop Demon Hunters.
What?
Have you discovered K-pop Demon Hunters?
No. I haven't watched it, but
Jennifer Lightfoot. It is, well, you don't know this because you don't have kids, but
is it a K-pop band fighting demons?
Yeah, it's a movie. It's an animated movie about a K-pop group fighting demons. Mm-hmm. And there's a demon boy band that becomes their rivals, and the music in it fucking slaps.
Okay,
it's so good.
Do you listen to it? Because
yes,
I have. I forget it. I think it was Opus that I discovered that you listen to a lot of movie soundtrack
when movies have pop songs in them, the characters are pop stars, or whatever.
In Smile 2,
mm-hmm.
in Opus, and now in this, mm-hmm. So it's fake pop singers that you're listening to.
That is correct, Jen. And
just wanted to clarify.
I'm sticking to my guns on it. So I was standing in a circle of parents recently, and I just offered out there that I have put on a song or two from the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack in the car by myself with no kids in the car.
Yes.
And you know what though? Other parents were like, "I'm so glad you said that." Because so have I. It was a big moment of
okay, that's amazing.
Me too.
I love that. Hi, I'm Jen Lightfoot. I'm an artist, tattoo artist, and I guess also amateur podcast. I said amateur, weird podcaster.
Amateur.
To be fair, I never say it that way. I've had a long day. I did 3 tattoos today, and I rushed home and ate dinner, and now I'm doing this. And
what were the tattoos?
The first one was a constellation and text. Then the fuck was my second one? Oh, flowers, names, and a hummingbird. And then the third one was kind of a homage to their college that they went to.
Oh.
So like,
Can I just take a moment to judge that
Yeah.
one a little bit?
I'd like to hop in on that too.
it was a combination of things. I
Yeah.
actually didn't look up what any of them meant. I could have, and I just
Was
chose
it like
not to.
about their experience at the college, or did they straight up just get like the college's like coat of arms? Or...
No,
Okay.
no. I did like a drawing and illustration. It was like there were flowers in it and like an anatomical heart and like some cool things. But like, I guess there was also like, I don't understand colleges that have sports,
Yeah.
as that's not what I went to. So
Right.
I guess this college had football.
Okay.
And like, I guess there's slang for what they call the football teams. I don't understand. Or their sports teams. So that was like, I think
Oh,
the word
yeah,
that was
yeah.
in it. Okay. So yeah. I don't know. Sports
Weird.
ball.
Sports ball, yeah.
So I'm really hoping after all that I make sense tonight with my notes and the podcast. I talked with my partner Tegan before this to be like, okay, need to remember names, need to remember, because this is a movie that's currently in the theater. So we all had to go to the theater to see it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God, I have to remember the plot. Like
That
I
sounds like a
remember
long day to
visuals.
have to remember a plot after.
It is.
For sure.
So I made some shitty notes and we'll see what happens.
Cool. I love it. I love it. We should introduce our friend though. Our
Yes, we
friend
should.
tonight, Francesca. Can you tell us about you? What's up?
Hey, I'm an English teacher alongside Harry. I have one child, toddler, who's currently I'm orbiting around, I feel like. And I really like to read. Just read Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. Highly recommend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So good. Can you tell us a little bit, like, what is the foundation of how we like know each other? Like you already you mentioned it, but yeah.
Yep. So Harry and I work at the same high school together.
Teaching English.
Can I say where?
Oh, yeah, totally,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and at Ithaca High School. It's a cool place to be. Really quirky.
Quirky's a really generous word.
It's so weird. Like I came from Auburn and Syracuse first, and then to come into like the Ithaca bubble was just like
yeah.
culture. It was culture shock. It's so strange. Harry's wife is lovely. I met Kat first actually,
True,
and
she
she was
is,
super supportive of me. My first year teaching, I just started a couple years ago. Shout out to her.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice,
So you teach English. What grade level?
So I just taught English 9 for a couple years, and now I'm switching to English 10, and then I'm going to be doing 11 with Harry. We're
Nice.
doing some co-planning together, which has been really cool, and I'm really jazzed about what we're going to do actually. And I do speech and debate as well, which
That's cool.
is kind of a dying art. But I see why they don't want to do it. I understand. Nobody wants to speak publicly.
Sure, but I think it's so important
It's
though.
so
Like, you know, like it's yeah.
Well, and I love Jon Stewart, and he did this whole thing about how like debate is dying, especially in like presidential elections, and
God.
it's like really scary, and like you guys probably already know this, but like our current president chose not to debate many times,
Yeah.
and like how that culture is shifting politically is like, yeah, it's
Definitely.
something to be worried
Scary.
about.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I promise we're going to talk about our movie soon. But during the pandemic, I was teaching middle school, and a lesson I taught was it was like a debate unit, a rhetoric unit, and I showed the students clips of the JFK debate against Richard Nixon, right? And also like one of the Trump-Biden debates, like during that campaign.
So different, right?
So different.
Like, couldn't be more.
Students were like,
What happened?
what exactly?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they couldn't believe like how much less substantive, articulate, organized, like like it is now.
And there was this. So I did the same thing. I played a Joe Biden or a Biden Trump debate, and then I did Obama, and who is the second guy he ran against? The one with the dog on top of his car
Oh,
that everybody was
Romney?
upset about.
Mitt
Romney.
Yeah.
And they were so cordial. Like, they had such an immense respect for one another.
Yeah.
That just did not exist in our recent
Dude,
debate.
it fell apart
doesn't.
so fast. That fell apart so fast, right?
Because that debate with Romney and Obama was how many years ago?
It's not. It was 2008.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
2012. Excuse me. 2012.
But still, like, that's a short amount of time for it to
know.
be like total shit
Our
show.
culture just is changing so rapidly
yeah.
in such a strange way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen. Speaking of,
I was going to say that could lead us in.
a rapidly changing culture that is changing for the stranger, we are here talking about Weapons, which is
Great
the hit of the summer. I'd say probably. First thing we usually do is make our guests summarize the movie in as many or few words as you want. Oh, you're ready. I love it. Okay.
I watched that Opus. Or I listened to the Opus and I was like, oh man, I gotta beat him. He did it pretty good.
Sorry, Phil, you're going down.
All right, here goes. Weapons. A child narrator frames the story that in the town of Maybrook, Illinois, 17 children from middle school teacher's class, Justine Gandy, suddenly run from their home at 2:17 in the morning. The story unfolds through acts or chapters that center different characters' perspectives to find out why the children, all but one, disappeared.
Lovely.
Perfect.
Let's talk about some analysis questions. I think this is a really juicy movie in a lot of directions. So many different ways you could cut this particular cake. You mentioned specifically in your summary about the monologue, the opening monologue of the movie, which struck me as very urban legend, friend of a friend, style storytelling, and I wondered what y'all felt like. How does that monologue set up this movie? Stylistically, substantively, what do we think about that?
So I was actually English nerd that I am, brought my cute little notebook to the theater with me. And the first thing I was like, what song is playing? It sounded like Pink Floyd. My partner was there. He was like, it definitely was not.
It's George Harrison.
It's George Harrison.
It's George Harrison.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he said it's probably John Lennon, but there we go. So yeah, it's just they're very free. The kids are running and that music is playing and it's almost that psychedelic era.
Yeah.
But also kind of reminded me of that whole trope of Hocus Pocus and calling out to the kids and pulling them away from their parents. But yeah, they just do that Naruto run.
Yeah. But you're right, against that music, and this was an impression that I had, was it feels like I'm watching a liberation.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's absolutely not what we're
it's
seeing.
It's the opposite of what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're watching a liberation, which I think is so...
It does. It has that very oh, look at these children just running wildly free. But they're losing their autonomy in that moment.
Yeah.
They're So it's the opposite of it.
Yeah. And I think that just to come back to the fairy tale, not fairy tale, but urban legend, friend of a friend, kind of oral story aspect of it. I don't know. I think it serves to kind of set up this version of reality that is asking us to set aside a little bit some of the more logistical, realistic aspects of it. Is that...
Yeah, I think it's also, by having the narration at the beginning and the end, it's also kind of making it okay, we're going to tell you about this little town, this pocket. It's comes full circle. And I do think, you said fairy tale, and then you walked it back. But I do think The Witch,
absolutely,
you could argue has Pied Piper or
Hansel and Gretel.
Vibes to it. So I think a little kid reading it in the beginning kind of gives it a little bit of a folklore
a folk tale.
vibe.
That's the word I wanted. Thank you. Yes. What do you think that the why does this movie need a folk tale element to it?
So, like, I don't know if this is related to your question, but the first thing that Paul, my partner, had said when we were watching is he's like, this reminds me of, like, classic American literature in a way. Like, it's almost like a very representative of, like, our Puritan-based culture, in which it's just, like, he kept thinking, like, he kept saying, oh my gosh, this is just like Nathaniel Hawthorne.
I was going to say Young Goodman Brown. It feels like Young Goodman Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
And he was like, Justine's like kind of a bit of a scarlet letter.
Yes.
And like, and I noticed the second time around, like he like Creggar.
Yeah.
He uses red a lot in the film. Cool. I don't intentionally. He's the director.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. Like it really tells a story of like a community.
Yeah.
And like how that community functions, how it's dysfunctional, and how they all kind of play off of each other, and what happens when like something terrible, and how does everybody respond?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting you mentioned literature because I think the chapters, which is a thing, Harry, that I think you had asked.
Yes. It's because I was making an observation about Barbarian as well, which is also like very. Have you seen Barbarian?
Yes, I did. Yep.
So it's like very cleanly separated into acts, that movie, right? And so like I just wonder what these Creggarian chapters. I apologize.
I'm sure he loves that.
Why do we use these? I mean, why does he have them? What do they add or obscure in the movie for us?
In an interview, he said that one of his favorite books is A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. I haven't read it. Tegan, my partner, keeps telling me to read it. I need to read it.
Yeah.
But the book is kind of broken up like the film. Like Creggar says, it's a weird episodic thing that kind of jumps perspectives a lot. And so like I really wanted to see the movie a second time because one thing I think it does is allows us to play with memory. And each time it jumps to a different chapter, it like shifts slightly with time, like ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, we're seeing it from this person's perspective now, but things are different. So like the conversation she has with the principal over the phone, her perspective, he's a lot angrier. In his perspective in the grocery store, he's more just like,
he's trying to pick between cereals, like, yeah.
Or the one that was the most obvious was James, the drug addict, and the cop. In the cop's perspective, he helps him up and like kind of touches his shoulder, and that's not how James remembers it.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's so cool.
And I wanted to like go back and be like, oh shit, like does it happen in each memory?
Yeah.
Like what's happening? Is it like the person who remembers themselves as better than they were? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I got from it. I don't know what it lends itself to the movie, but yeah, what did you guys think?
I think that's something that's huge. Yeah, just like because I think this movie, Francesca, you pointed out this idea that like what this movie gives us is the impression of a community that's like. What I get is that like they are like very deeply at odds with each other and like suspicious of each other.
Yeah.
Like I at once kind of. I'm not trying to slip into critique.
Don't do it, Harry.
I once was a little annoyed at the ring cam product placement because I hate product placement in movies. However, I do recognize like that actually it kind of does make sense thematically to be talking about ring cams in this movie because like what is a ring cam if not like a tool of suspicion about like your neighbors or like whoever is at your front step, right? So like So I love that idea, and I totally agree that it, like if that's true, and I need to see it again, but like if certain small details like that are like remembered differently, I think that's a huge reason to use these chapters, right? Because this is about a community that just isn't seeing things the same way, right? And is treating each other with suspicion when in fact there's this much larger, more alien entity to worry about.
I love what you said about the door cam. I did not think about it in that way. I did like think like this is such a story about safety and protection. And like, I know a lot of watchers, the first thing, I didn't watch the trailer for this. I went going in blind. And the first thing I thought was this is going to be a commentary on gun violence in the United States. But Creggar has said explicitly, this is not what this is.
Yeah.
Like, he has said, like, yeah.
I think it's in there. Like, I think that, like, to read the disappearance of these kids in some way that, like, it doesn't have some allegorical equivalent to, like, school shootings or something. You know, they set up, like, the memorial wall. You know, at one point we see a floating assault rifle.
Yeah.
So AR-15 with the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that that's not in there, but I agree that that's not the full picture.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's a bigger picture to be had. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that is also lending, because they don't know what happened, so it's like lending itself to suspicion of like what could, or like, you know, like what we know usually is an empty classroom is a school shooting or something.
Right.
Yeah, not a witch.
Yeah, and like so something that I've seen a lot of people talking about online too is like this idea of like it's kind of about a lot of people want to center the school shooting, which I don't know if I agree with.
I don't agree with that.
Like they're like it's about a school shooting and how this community reacts in all sorts of different ways to a school shooting, and I'm like I get that. But when you focus on the school shooting, I feel like the movie feels less focused because then I feel like we have this long digression from that allegory when we get to this really unhinged cop. What's the addict's name again? I can't remember.
Which one?
The addicted dude. What's his name?
James.
We got James, right? And the especially the interplay between the cop and James feels only kind of tangentially related to that.
Yeah.
But when you read it more as like a, you know, it's not just the school shooting thing. It's about the deep rifts in this community. I think it says a lot more.
I think if you just read it as school shooting, it minimizes the depth of the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many. Like, one thing that Creggar has said, I'm going to quote him again. Oh my God. I just took fucking screenshots of things. He says, quote, the final chapter of this movie with Alex and the parents, that's autobiographical. Yeah. I'm an alcoholic. I'm sober 10 years. My father died of cirrhosis. Living in a house with an alcoholic parent, the inversion of the family dynamic that happens, the idea that this foreign entity comes into your home and it changes your parent and you have to deal with this new behavior, new behavioral pattern that you don't understand and don't have the equipment to deal with. Yeah. I actually think like I feel like there's so many themes in the movie, but I think addiction was interesting because there's James is obvious, like the most obvious addict, but like, you know, Justine is an alcoholic. The cop is an alcoholic. Yeah. So many of them had addictions. I was trying to figure out what Archer's was. Archer like didn't seem to have one because we don't know enough about his past, but we know about his present. And the thing with his addiction, it seemed like the solving the crime was an addiction for him.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that everybody has to be addicted.
Yeah.
Like I love
was like looking for it after.
Yeah. But I do think that like questions of addiction kind of lead back to one of the questions that I had, which was about like being a parasite, right? There's this whole like really like actually pretty heavy-handed stuff going on in this movie about parasites. You know, at one point, the principal and his husband sit down for a delicious dinner of 7 hot dogs and a documentary about a parasitic fungus.
I was like, when I saw that couple, I wanted to like tap Tegan so much and be like, that's us.
Couple goals,
that's
baby.
Me
couple
asking
goals.
for the hot dog in my hand. I was like, I've never seen a more relatable couple in a movie.
Wearing their Mickey Mouse shirts now.
Oh my God, I know.
Now that the rights are open.
Sidebar, people on the internet were like, who's going to sit down and eat 7 hot dogs? And I was like, actually, that tracks
I will.
perfectly for me.
Yeah.
That tracks perfectly. Fuck, what were we talking about?
Parasites.
Yeah.
Parasites,
Yes.
right. This idea of kind of like feeding off of, maybe this isn't exactly related to the idea of like addiction and alcoholism, but...
No, I want to say that I do think it's related.
Oh, go ahead,
And
yeah.
I looked at my notes and I was like, the way I wrote this sounds like I was high or drunk when I wrote this. So I feel like
Were you, Jen?
No. I feel like I should read it as I wrote it just for that sake. But I said which is parasite. Parasite is substance. Which is substance.
You had a whole equation.
Oh,
You wrote
But
Some good logic right there.
But I think, like, I feel like, what's her name? Gladys.
Yeah.
Gladys.
Yeah.
She is the parasite, and
Yeah.
she's also meant to represent, like, the substance that comes into the home
Yeah,
and changes
yeah.
the parents.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like, in that sense, alcohol and drugs are a parasite in
Sure.
a way.
Yeah.
Like, and they,
For sure.
they stay with you.
Yeah.
So-
They are not unlike the fungus that controls the ants,
Yes.
right? They make you do things, right? They, I mean, I actually think that that's great. That's a
See,
really
then it
solid
relates to
connection.
what you were saying.
See, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
The role of addiction in this, and I mean, that's what Creggar said his main kind of like message for the movie was, right? Other than like writing it as like a creative release after the grief of losing a friend.
Yeah.
And that Gladys is definitely parasitic. And also it's like, but I wonder too, to add on to, so we've got three things going, which is parasite, addiction, but also this idea of weapon. And like so the reason that my brain, and I think you guys are absolutely right about the whole like gun violence metaphor, like when you think about it too deeply, it kind of dies away. I don't think there's a main message that has enough connective tissue there.
Yeah.
Although I definitely think like you could like find something there, but like then my brain kind of comes back to like, okay, so what is like a weapon then? Like is a parasite a weapon?
Right.
Like, in what way are we all weapons, I guess?
Sure. How do we weaponize things and
Yeah.
each other, right? That's another
Yeah.
question really at the heart of this movie. You know, just to talk about things on a superficial level, but in a way that I kind of love, we see things get turned into weapons. A lot of different things get turned into weapons in this movie. We see a liquor bottle get turned into a weapon.
The needles.
We see needles
Oh,
get turned into a
needles,
weapon.
yes.
We see a vegetable peeler get turned into a
Oh
weapon.
my
We
God,
see,
I forgot about
like, yeah. Like, so there's
Yeah.
lots of different things that kind of become weapons. We see, by the way,
Children.
children and elementary school principal, right? Like, so yeah, I think the idea of weaponizing things is like really important in this movie too. And I also think equally important is who is that weapon turned against, right? Which for me, that answer in this movie is unquestionably, it's about children, right? Like weapons turned against children. Something that Creggar described specifically as being in the screenplay is that run, that anime run is described as being the run from this very iconic photo of Vietnam. Have you all seen this?
Yes.
Napalm Girl is what she's
Yeah.
somewhat insensitively called, I think.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It's a brutal picture. But I think that the fact that they're kind of all wearing this posture of this girl she's just in the middle of the road, she's crying, her village has been accidentally bombed, and it's like a bunch of children around her as well. I just think that I think it speaks so strongly to Creggar's centering of the child in this whole conversation of weapons and who they're used against. Which is I think it's an interesting thing, because I puzzled a little bit over like why this formation, you know, why do this, you know? And I was like, well, like, are they making themselves a weapon? Are they like making a point on themselves, like a sword or something, you know?
Are they little airplanes?
Are they little airplanes? Are they little airplanes? Oh, 2:17 a.m. A bunch of kids become little airplanes. No, that's the cold open.
one of my questions was, how is this a cultural representation of the public education system in communities? And like how, and even if Creggar didn't mean to, like that's still in his brain and that's going to come out in his storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think early on when you said suspicion, like the town being suspicious, feel like that really comes through in the what meeting would you call that at the school? Like the
like the town.
Oh, like the town
PTA.
hall style.
I guess, but it
The
seemed like
PTA thing.
type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Because it seemed like at the school maybe, and mostly like teachers and
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
The suspicion is real high there. Like
Yeah.
that's where they're like almost doing like a witch hunt.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And one of my first notes was like feeling like the movie, or at least the first few chapters of the movie, feel a lot like a modern day kind of Salem witch thing, you know?
I just went to Salem a couple weeks ago, and that's like immediately where my brain went watching this as well. Like I think you're absolutely right, and like the way that like there's so much like mob mentality in this movie, and like what people do under pressure and what do they feel like they have to do in front of a crowd, in front of an audience, and like who are the real victims of the weapons too. Like children have so little control in their lives, like that. Like I think we like romanticize childhood a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like it's hard being a kid.
Definitely.
And
definitely.
like all the things that that impact them.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And so it just takes one bad actor, right? And all of a sudden, a kid's life is really miserable and unjustly so. This was a movie that I was like, I thought for a hot second I was almost really excited because nobody has made like a horror movie that like centers public education like as its thing.
Yeah.
I mean, The Faculty. There's movies out there that are like set in schools, but it's not like really about
horror.
the horror of education, which we know
There's so much.
There's so much of it.
So much trauma.
There's so much of it. But no, I think that what it shows us, and this also maybe kind of ties into some of the stuff that we're talking about with witch hunts and such. But like I think it illustrates the extent to which a differing perspective can lionize or vilify the public educator, in general, right? I mean, you've got Justine, who we kind of sympathize with, I think generally, although we'll get into that later.
The bar.
And
we've got Archer, who's like, he reads very right-wing, ex-military, works with his hands, salt of the earth kind of guy. And, I think we can kind of assume like rightish politics and all that those people kind of suspect of public education, which is that, we are indoctrinating our wokeness onto the youth and so on and so forth. And I think it all really is encapsulated. It comes to a head when he writes witch on her car, which is just such a profoundly like puritanical is a word that you used, right?
Scarlet
Patriarchal,
letter going after.
such a and I think that moment really kind of serves to illustrate some of what you're talking about there. It's like how is public education viewed through different lenses in this movie.
I was also thinking the conversation she has with the principal.
That's what I was just about. Well, and Harry knows, so we've spoken before, but like I had like a very personal experience last year, which I won't get into too much, but just like something I noticed, especially after like a couple years working, and there's just such a fine line between what, like you said, lionize versus villainize, which I think is such like a good...
Yeah, you're either a hero or you are the scum of the earth. Right?
Yeah. And it's like, but there's also this boundary that he addresses, which is just like, can you care too much for students? And if you care too much, does that mean you're being inappropriate? And like, what is a professional relationship with a student and what is like being there for them when nobody else is? And like, you have to be so careful as a teacher because you want to help somebody, especially if you have the capacity to. But if something, God forbid, does happen, though that evidence is going to be used against you, just as it is when, Marcus, the principal, tells Justine, like, you had an inappropriate relationship. You brought that girl home and she's like, she missed the bus.
Right.
And it was just like... I don't know. That was infuriating as a teacher to watch.
Why infuriating for you?
Because her intention was not considered. He was just like, I know you care, but like, that's your problem.
Right.
But then, like, I know as a teacher, it's never outright. Like, it's never outright asked of us, but it's always suggested that we need to care. Yeah. Even if we don't get paid for it. Like, we need to do things beyond what our job requirements ask of us and beyond what our salary pays.
How many teachers do you know who keep, like, boxes of, like, snacks and, like, snack bars and fruits and stuff, just, like, for, like, hungry kids?
But that comes out of, like, your pocket.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we don't get a budget for that. Like, we just pay for that.
And then there's a little bit of
teacher and did all that.
And there's a little bit of, like, jealousy between teacher dynamics too. Like, I don't know if but I mean, it happens in preschool too, which is interesting as well. Wait, but like you can, they all like that teacher because she's giving them food and like that.
And then the other people get mad about it because, and maybe, like, rightly so, like,
not
everybody can afford to stock their classroom with extra snacks for kids, right? And so it's really complicated, right?
It is.
And just like the, something that really rang true to me that you were talking about is the principal being like, you took those kids home, that, you did these things that are inappropriate. And it's because when you're administrator, you're concerned about optics now, right? Like, you're concerned about how things look.
You don't want to get sued. You don't want,
exactly, Jen.
And I really appreciated this movie as a representation of some of those issues. I'm still looking for a movie that like, dives fully into them, because I do think that if those issues are tackled, it's largely, like, peripheral.
That's not what this like. This movie wasn't about those issues. Those issues just happened to. I mean, they were a part of it, but it wasn't, like, the meat of it. It'd be interesting to see a horror movie that really, like, and also dives into the, like, liberal conservative, because, like, I felt like it was, like, muddying some of that, because it's like. Like, the one example, she's like, I forget if she says, like, oh, like, the kid hugged me, or, like, I hugged the whatever. The kid hugged her. I feel like it's an instance where it would be like, conservatives would be like, like, why can't my kid hug you? But it would also be like an instance where, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it gets muddied for the reasoning behind conservatives and, like, liberals as to, like, why certain things should or should not be.
It's because public education is just, it's an ink blot test for people. Like, it's just, like, what people project onto it, like, whatever they need it to be. And so that's rough. Can I toss in, here's an observation that I had, and I wonder if you all agree with it. I want to say that this movie very cleverly sets up parallels between Justine and Archer, and
James.
He was my favorite, Harry. You really hurt my feelings over here.
What's the cop's name now? Help me.
Paul.
Paul, thank you.
That I didn't remember.
Take two. I feel like this movie sets up...
I think you should keep it.
You have to keep that in there.
I think this movie sets up really clear parallels between Justine and Archer and Paul and James. And...
you were almost going to forget again, weren't you?
I was not. I just throw that out to you. What do you think about that? Like, are they meant to mirror their relationships with each other? What do you think? And why?
I definitely think they are. Yeah. I feel like some of these characters are tropes. Like when Creggar was when he was saying in an interview, like, oh, the way that I wrote this, it just kind of happened. I didn't know it was going to happen. And so, like, I knew I had the teacher, and then I had to have the parent, and then I had to have a cop, and then I had to have a junkie.
Yeah.
And, like, so he is setting up those, like, tropes on purpose and intentionally to tell a story. What do you...
I totally agree with you 100%. I think, okay, so to think of the two parallels, like the couples, James and Paul, I feel like they're polar opposites in a way. Like Paul is an aggressive, angry, bad at his job, like most cops cop.
Yeah.
And I think it's a general representation of cops.
Yeah.
And I think that James is the opposite. Like he is like, yes, he's addicted to, I want to say meth. I'm not sure.
Well, if he's shooting up, I imagine it's like heroin.
But he was also, maybe it was heroin.
What's the drug of choice in Breaking Bad?
Meth.
Yeah, I think.
I thought it was
seemed
meth
like
too,
a similar.
He doesn't read like a meth addict, though. Like meth addicts are very.
But I thought he was.
He was very functional when on the phone. When
Yeah,
he was.
He was.
Yeah.
That also doesn't seem like heroin. But either way, we could have a whole conversation about what drugs James was on. I feel like he comes across as like kind of, like, yes, sure. He's robbing a house. He's kind of like, I want to say the word sweet in a way. Like he's sort of dumb. Not dumb, but like he's sort of like, he's
a sympathetic character.
He's a sympathetic character who's just trying to get enough money for his next hit. That's all he cares about. He doesn't really care about the kids. He just wants the money.
Right.
And he's not actually like, yes, he's robbing places, but it's like the parallel between him and the cop makes you feel bad for his situation, which you don't know how he got into that situation living in like the tent city. And like, you don't feel bad for the cop. Like, I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that these characters are complicated, right? Like, on the one hand, I do feel bad for James. I feel bad that he's an addict. I feel bad that he is so living a life that's just so short-sighted and only looking for his next hit, as you mentioned. At the same time, like, we do see him like trying a bunch of car door handles and like being like kind of shitty too.
I see it the opposite way.
I see it the opposite way too.
Okay, so tell me, please.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like, when you were talking, Jen, like, it opens his chapter opens with a shot toward his back, and he doesn't have a shirt on, and you just see like his so I guess the actor that played James, did you guys know he was in a deficit of 35 pounds for an entire year?
Oh my god.
He's a method actor, and so Creggar, I guess, had said that during the writer's strike, the production for Weapons got pushed back. So he was the only actor that decided to stay with the script for that entire time. So he stayed underweight, 35 pounds. So you just like see his shoulders like in that shot. And he just looks so vulnerable. And he's just like that anger that he has because he can't get what he needs. And like but he's sick. Like he is, and when he is like trying to break into cars, like to me, I was like, that's heartbreaking. Like that's how he knows how to survive.
Right.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And the way Creggar films it too is the cop is filmed in a way that just feels like, and maybe it's not the way it's filmed, but the way that they're directed to act. Like the cop is very angry, like all the time. Oh,
definitely.
Even talking to his girlfriend.
He's so unhinged.
He's so unhinged.
Yeah.
And the way that even when he's like opening the like car door handles, it's almost in a sort of light, not humorous, but like
he's funny.
He is funny.
He is funny. Yeah. There is some. Well, he's funny and scary, right? But it's like scary to think of the idea of.
I don't think he's scary.
I don't think he's scary.
You didn't find him scary?
Not at all. James? He reminded me.
I'm sorry. James or Paul?
Oh, we were talking about James, right?
We were talking about James.
I'm so sorry. Paul is scary.
Yeah, Paul's scary.
No, James is not scary to me. Yeah, okay, sorry, continue.
No, Paul's terrible. There's never a good Paul in a movie. My husband, we were watching this, and he's like, "Here we go. He's the cop.
It's a Paul.
It's a
Here
Paul.
we fucking go." Yeah, I mean, I guess I just see in those two relationships like somebody who, because of their own baggage and bullshit, is like persecuting somebody else, right? Like Archer is like has all these hangups about how he didn't show enough affection to his son and is therefore like persecuting Justine, calling her a witch, you know. Meanwhile, right, we've got Paul, who's also just like a struggling alcoholic and but is also like making decisions to like cheat on his fiance and like, you know what I mean, and do all these things and taking out his aggressions on this other kind of vulnerable person. Who also is kind of like, you know, both Justine and James are addicted, it seems. And again, it comes back to this idea of like a community at odds with each other, a community that's like trying to,
who's emotionally distant.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of them connected with each other, except at the very end with Justine and the parent, Archer, right?
Right. Well, and to come back to your question about public education, right? I feel like cop is to junkie as parent is to teacher, right? Like, especially like maybe a little bit wealthy parent or powerful parent in a town. You know, Archer is not like a blue collar worker, really. He owns a house building company. Did you see the house that he was building?
Well, the whole
it was
town.
fucking huge.
Most of the town had
I'm willing to bet that
decent
dude
houses.
He has
money.
power in the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an authoritative male.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he understands it, right? Like what's he do when that woman tells him that she's uncomfortable with him looking at her Ring camera footage? He waits till Justin Long, her husband, comes home and asks him, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was happy to see Justin Long. Sorry.
I was too.
Me too.
I was too.
It was such a brief moment, but I was like, oh, yay. Should we
move into some...
I think we should move into,
some critique? Yeah,
Let's do it. Yep.
Critique. So Jen has a number for this movie. She's ready to go.
Do you want to do it before or after, though? I'm happy to wait. The number for me will not change.
Let's do numbers.
All right, let's do it.
That's what I say.
All right, so I went back and looked at what I rated Barbarian. Because when I left the movie theater, I thought, I love this.
Yeah.
But I love Barbarian just a little more.
Just a scooch more. Yeah.
Just a smidge more. But this movie did stick with me for days after. I kept thinking about it, and the visual that keeps coming into my head and haunting me is whether Justine is doing the stakeout and the mom comes out with scissors and like goes in the car
So
and like
uncomfortable.
it's so, and it switches perspective, and I like can't stop thinking
It's
about
one long
that.
tracking shot. Am I wrong? Right? It's just
You
one
are right.
long
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But I gave Barbarian a 9. And so I'm giving Weapons an 8.5.
Nice. For some reason, I'm feeling hesitant to give Weapons a 9, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because of just the Creggar syndrome. Like the reason I rated Barbarian an 8, and the reason I gave for not giving it higher is because I just felt like there was something in Barbarian, though such a lovely movie, it's just kind of forgettable over time.
What?
I really do think so.
Okay, the fact that you called it forgettable and also lovely.
No, it's
Two
great.
wild statements.
It's great.
No, I know, but lovely makes it seem like it's like, oh, peaceful.
Dude, no, man. Oh, sure. Maybe that's the wrong word. Whatever. We talk about comfort movies on this
true.
podcast
That's
all the
true.
time.
I
Are you kidding
know.
me?
Comfort movies are important.
Yeah, but our comfort movies are like Jen's comfort movies, like Terrifier 2. Like that's
Nice.
deranged.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
No, I don't know. Just something about it to me, it just doesn't feel like... I just wonder if it's going to have the staying power in my brain in like 10 years. You know? Like, I will certainly never be able to forget a movie like Scream or Get Out, or, you know, these other movies that I would rate in the like 9-10 range. And I'm not sure what it is, but there's just something here that says in my brain that like this is excellent, but not like a classic.
What's the number?
Did I not say it?
You didn't say the number.
Harry's rating brought to you by wine. No, I'm gonna give it. I'll be the same. I'll give it 8.5.
Okay. It's a higher rating than I thought you were going to
No,
give it.
it's excellent. It's such a good movie, and I would recommend anybody go watch it. And I do think it's saying important things about rural life. I love that it's following in the footsteps of things like Nathaniel Hawthorne and, you know, just kind of a long-standing literary tradition about writing about rural life and its many shortcomings.
You guys are gonna hate me. I'm like what? I'm like hypercritical.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I like 10 for me is like something that is doing something unusual, something that like subverts like expectations.
Yeah.
And is, I think, saying something important. Like every single shot should be
like a fucking diamond,
or not even a diamond, but like it should serve the greater purpose of the storytelling.
Sure.
I'm gonna put Weapons at a 6.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah, I thought it honestly, like it was good. I thought it was okay. By the time I got to Alex, I was kind of like, all right, like I'm done.
Yeah.
Which is not how I wanted to feel at that point. I should have felt like, oh, I can't wait to like see what the mystery is here. But yeah.
Did you get a little bit lost in the Paul James of it all? Like that was that was a section of the movie where like I feel like it serves a narrative purpose, but for just my lizard brain entertainment side of me that just wants to like watch fun things, it did start to slump for me a little bit in there, and I started to feel like how much of this is really that relevant, or like parts of it where like we're rewatching events from other people's perspectives, but that don't really meaningfully change things too much. Like with James picking himself up versus Paul picking James up, if it had been more of that, I would have been like
more obvious things.
Very important.
I do wonder. I've been trying to remember if in the bar when Paul and Justine meet in the bar, I felt like there was something different in the beginning with how they greeted each other, but because I wasn't fucking looking for it or paying attention.
I gotta rewatch this.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like in one they might hug, in the other one they might not. But I need to rewatch because I'm like, maybe it's just the angle that made me think that.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I really liked the Paul and James of it all. I actually really liked the car chase.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was scared to be in that car.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was scared of Paul. And also I was like, we're in a car chase where we're in the perspective of the person driving.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, yeah, I'm watching an action movie or something.
No, he's like he's at like 10. And it's like,
like it's like a road rage situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought, I don't know. I feel like I don't think it deterred from it.
Yeah.
So I realized my big issue with the movie. So something you had said was you were like, did you get lost with Paul and James? And I realized I don't know if Creggar did the best job at interweaving everybody's story together. Like, I think he even admits in an interview, like, there are plot holes. And he's like, but that's okay. And, like, I think that needs to be a thing. And I'm like, no, there should there should I mean, sorry, Zach.
He's definitely listening to this. Yeah.
Was he saying there were plot holes with the way that it was structured? Because if it is, like, I think that's okay. Because if it's with the memory, I think there are plot holes with people's memories.
So I guess, so let me say my critique first, and then I'll go back to what Zach said, which actually what he says is I didn't think it was a plot hole, and he explained it. But I guess it's just like, okay, so Paul and James, their involvement in the larger plot is almost serendipitous. They, like, James just happens to find the house. Paul is tangentially related to Justine and he's having an affair with her. Like, I guess I would have liked to see them more connected to the overall plot. Like, what... I guess if the question is how are members of the community impacted by like a large trauma, where I guess it's like, okay, so how does that disappearance, how does that involve James? Like
Yeah.
I get he's going through that thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been so interesting if, like, James, like, if we could see his story of when he was a kid at the school? Like, maybe...
Sure.
Or, you know what I mean? But,
Sure.
yeah, I didn't think they were, like, connected enough for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Creggar had said that the timeline for, like, the cop car being at the house didn't add up. James and Paul get there first.
Yeah.
With a cop car.
Yeah.
And then that sits there all day. And then Alex comes home. And then Justine and Archer come. And he says that doesn't, like, how could the cop car there be all day? But I don't know. I didn't think...
I like a little bit... See, I a little bit don't care about those
Yeah,
things.
I didn't care.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
I didn't realize it watching.
No.
If it's not glaring enough for me to be like, hey, like, wait a fucking minute. You know, like, then for
It's
me,
so-
it doesn't really bother me. I don't know.
Especially that moment. Like, it's so interesting that that's what he's critical of. Because, like, I mean, one thing he mentioned is he really likes David Lynch.
Yeah.
And, like, I think the suburbs thing fits into
Totally.
that.
It's a very
too.
blue velvet.
Very, yeah. But I do think that maybe a little bit of that love for David Lynch lends itself to, like, you know, not ambiguity, but not like loopholes, like, you know, open-ended things.
Yeah.
But I actually feel like that's okay. Like, I'm fine with the fact that
Yeah.
we don't know Gladys's end game necessarily. Like,
Sure.
does she have to go to another town and feed off
Yeah.
new children? I don't know, because she's fucking dead now. But like none of that bothered me. I have heard we might get a prequel movie for Gladys,
I've
and
heard about that too. I don't want it.
I don't want it either.
No, fuck off. Fuck off with your sequels and prequels, Hollywood.
I know.
He's
I'm
busy
like,
doing Resident Evil.
Good.
So.
I will look forward to that, actually.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I love the extent to which this movie a little bit feels like a fever dream, tying it back to things like the sort of fairy tale aspects of it, right? The David Lynch of it all, right? I think we have all listened to the same Last Podcast on the Left episode.
I
where
have not, but
Zach Creggar talks
but
about.
I know that I think you or Sam sent it.
Sam
yeah,
sent it to us, yeah. And he talks about, you know, very much like reading his book. I think it's called
Catching Big Fish.
Catching the
To
Big
catch
Fish,
big
yeah.
Catch a big, something like that,
Yeah.
right? Talking about how like there's like a very meditative process for writing this movie, and Creggar, you know, doesn't really, you know, for him he says it's like a journal entry, right? And there are themes in it, but like I don't think that he was trying to create a necessarily cohesive thing about any one topic, right? Which is why we see, you know, oh, here's like a little element of, gun control stuff. And here's like a little bit about like addiction and alcoholism. And here's like, you know, and I love that about it, actually. Like, I really like just the impressionistic nature of it and just kind of taking from it what makes sense to you.
But then lean into it. Like,
Sure.
But
Sure.
like, so I like that too, but do more. Like,
Sure.
push a boundary
Sure.
a little bit for
Sure.
me.
I feel that a boundary that he pushed in this movie. This is
Good
not.
job with those I statements.
This is a little bit. This is not exactly talking about the same thing here. What I appreciate that Creggar does here, and he did in Barbarian, but here he does it even more, is toy with the line between comedy and horror.
Yeah.
In a way that it's not a horror comedy, not by anyone's real definition of what that is, but there's still these distinctly comedic moments, and I think there is so much bravery in the ending of this movie, where like you have this stampede of children just absolutely demolishing house after house in pursuit of Gladys, who's just like, ah! Ah!
I did love that. I loved that.
I did, and I was
Yeah.
like, it was one of those moments where we break into
Oh, it's comedy.
comedy.
It's so funny.
But it was
it's a whitest
also,
kid
like,
sketch.
It is.
Like, yeah.
But I was like, that is 100% how people would react. Like,
Absolutely.
if I was mowing my lawn
Absolutely.
and saw that, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it would be that kind of tone.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little of like Jordan Peele, especially like Us.
Yes, yes.
Where there's like a good amount of comedy,
Yeah.
but it fits
Yeah.
the world.
Yes, I agree. But what I find so gutsy about it is that it is the climax of this horror film. Mm-hmm. And it is not scary really at all. It is just very, very funny and cathartic. And I just find I love Zach Creggar's playfulness with genre in this movie, which is something I think that's bumping it up for me a little bit too.
I feel like he did that with Barbarian a little bit, but like got to play around with some different things this time around too.
There's definitely funny bits in Barbarian, but this movie allocates the funny bits differently.
Yes.
I think, meaningfully.
I did want to quickly just say, since we're in critique, and I mentioned wanting to talk about soup cans earlier.
Oh, yes.
I just want to say one thing that I really, really loved was some of the character development. So like the little kid, we talked about how he can't open soup. It's heartbreaking as he like spills this soup all over the floor. He realizes he can't use the can opener. He goes to the grocery store the next day. He still thinks soup because she says soup. That's in his head. He doesn't realize I can get something else, but he gets the soup cans with the
poppy lids. So
that he knows he can open them. So I think it's the same thing that then it foreshadows how he turns the kids against Gladys at the end.
Oh, nice.
Because he watches her do it. So he knows how she's controlling them.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to break the spell. So he's able to like get the kids to go attack her, but he's not able to like break the spell for his parents or any of them. So I was just like, I felt like certain things like that. I was like, it's subtle, but I was like, oh, I think that's the thing I'm going to enjoy about this movie and rewatching it is there are going to be like little things that you pick up on that you're like, oh fuck, I didn't pick up on that before.
I love that. Alex is super resourceful, right? I mean, he's really smart when Gladys is making him steal stuff from other kids, right? He thinks about taking like little trinkets from people, but then he realizes the better thing to do is just take everyone's name card, right? He's really smart. And this movie has a tremendous love for Alex, I think. Like, it's just so invested in his goodness. And I think that's something that really gives it heart, as a
like you
movie.
care about Alex. It'd be different if it was a kid that you didn't care about and you're like, whatever. You deserve all this child.
Yes. Right. No, that's Archer's kid. Anyway,
he did a great job of creating an emotionally resonant character.
Yeah.
Like even you were saying like that you're hang up with James. I mean, he was even saying how like he was on the phone with his brother and he's like, oh yeah, I owe mom money. And then that like whole dynamic with like Matthew and like how he bullies and what kind of parenting Archer must be lacking in.
Yeah. He said he'd never told his kid he loves him, which is like it's crazy, man.
And he doesn't say it at the end either.
He doesn't say it at the end.
Nope.
That's what's fucked up.
I think he says, I found you. When he picks him up. It's like he learned nothing.
It's fucking dark.
It's fucking dark. On that note, should we rate who the hottest
is?
Who's
the hottest?
Oh boy.
Oh.
I don't.
Is emotional neglect sexy?
That's up to you, Harry.
Do you have an answer for this?
No, I don't. I gotta think about it.
Do you have an answer for this?
Oh, Justine. I think she looks great.
Too.
I loved her in Ozarks. I think she's so gorgeous. Yeah, love her.
I have a really bad reason for finding her hot. Is this? Can
I'd
go
love to
on.
hear it. Yeah,
can I
please.
express this to you?
Please. Yeah.
There is a stupid teenager part of my brain that finds it hot when women are depicted as having alcohol problems in films. Is that like, it's like, and I know that it's wrong, okay? I know it's wrong, but it's like, she's so badass. Like, look at her boozing, like, it's like that little part of my brain.
God,
I can't turn it off. I'm sorry. I wish I could.
So the minute you saw she was like drinking, you were like, yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah.
You're like easily the hottest.
Oh, look at her there waiting outside that kid's house. Pouring vodka into her soda. Let's go.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Justine as well. Yep. That's my answer.
This is the hardest movie for me to rate someone the hottest, I think.
Why is that?
Because I don't know if I found anyone hot.
Oh.
Did I find? Oh God, I have to pick someone.
He did Creggar did do a good job of like portraying like realistic people.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've watched a lot of movies where it's like a CW show and they're all
Yes,
like
they're
models.
all hot. And that's a
Yeah.
pet peeve I have. I hate movies where it's just like,
That's
it's
the hot
supposed to be
one.
a fairly realistic movie and everybody's really hot. Like, yeah.
I think mine is going to be, I'm trying to think of her name in the movie.
Is it Paul's girlfriend
Yes!
who stomps out Justine
Oh,
and dumps
It's like-
vodka on her?
June Diane
Donna?
Raphael, I
That was
think.
Donna, yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
hot. I'm going to go with her.
That's so interesting. Why?
She's curvy.
She is
She's
curvy.
got a, like, she's like,
She is curvy.
Justine's too small for me. Like, I need like boobs and an ass.
Ah,
So-
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
so
fair.
That's why.
She's got that like she buys into the town's like patriarchy though, and her.
She would be like an Art the Clown. Like, just don't talk.
Okay, got you.
Canceled.
No, that's okay. I think that's all fair. What is one change that you would make to this movie? You only get one for maximum effect. It can be funny, it can be serious, it can be realistic, it can be not realistic.
I have like vibes. Does it have to be one specific thing?
No, what
I just
what's your
like
vibe?
we were talking about that fever dream aspect. Like
Yeah.
I'd love more like psychedelic,
Yeah.
like lean into that Lynch. Like if you're gonna
Sure.
do Lynch, like lean into it. You know, like
Yeah.
and also like have the characters be really raw.
Yeah.
Like how Paul loses it, like that. I mean, we hate him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I could get down with that change. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
I think a lot of the critique that this movie gets is because there's something a little bit middle of the road about it in certain ways, right? Like it wants to kind of have this fairy tale, urban legend, folklore thing, but also it's got this pretty intense rooting to kind of a more realistic story for like a lot of it, and so like there's tension there that I think a lot of people aren't really feeling, and so maybe like something that's like a little more lean into the weirdness, right? Lean into the dream, lean into the
Which I'm always here for.
You're always there
I
for
always want it to be weirder, so I'm with you on that one. My change would be I'd want the chapters of each perspective to be just a little more noticeable that there were some changes.
yeah.
I think that's what I'd want.
I'd be really into that. That
That's
would
a great idea.
if that was the case, that might jump this movie up. That extra
Imagine
half
more
point for me.
surreal and with that.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool. I have an annoyance, which is that in the beginning, the narrator says that the children were never heard from again, and
Oh my
then
God.
they are heard from again in the end of the movie, and that bothers me.
Tie up your loose ends.
Yeah,
I did not
that's a
catch
little bit of it's a squeaky
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love that.
I didn't catch that. I didn't. What? That's wild. Now I want that
it's
to be a change. too.
Yeah, unless it's the kind of thing where like she's narrating from some kind of perspective that's like as the movie is unfolding, and so she's like,
No, but she even says some of them talk again at the end, which is bleak as fuck. But like,
yeah,
Yeah.
super bleak.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I personally, I kind of want the kids to not show up at the end. I want the kid, or you know what they could do is after they tear Gladys apart, they could just kind of like run off into the woods and just
Disappear.
like fucking disappear. You know, like that could work for me, because that also kind of like there's something in this movie where like when you consider the sort of school shooting allegory, I don't love that they come back. Right? I don't think that's super fair to
But
that
you could
issue.
argue that the ones that come back are survivors of a school shooting and they live with trauma the rest of their lives. Oh, I see Harry hates that more. I'm sorry.
This is the sound I make for that. Here, let me make it one more time. Should we put Christopher Walken in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Who should Christopher Walken be? Gladys?
All I can think of is Seven Psychopaths.
I want a bowl of water, like a.
Yes.
Honestly, he would kill it in any of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah.
I will watch Christopher Walken in anything.
I kind of want to see him as James.
Oh my God.
What?
He would play it up. He'd play it up.
Oh wow, they have Willow. I did love that moment.
That was hilarious.
I did love
yeah.
that moment. Yeah. Oh shit, Willow. Shit. All right. Well, I mean, if that's all we got, any last words? Last words?
We do need one more thing.
We do need a thing. I always forget this.
I know you do every time.
How do I keep forgetting this? So, Francesca, we need a soundbite to be the last thing that the listeners will hear.
I've been watching Three Body Problem lately.
With the principal.
With he's amazing. I really like him. But they have this line there, which is, "If one survives, we all survive."
Ooh, that's a good one. Deep.